How's it going, everyone? Long time no see. I know. It's been a very long time since I last posted a video, and all I can really do is apologize for that. Life happens. And so there's been a lot of changes that have occurred in this past year since I've posted. One of those being that I'm in a new relationship, new person. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick before anyone starts assuming anything. Second thing is that I moved back home. This is the house that I grew up in. So I'm back to my roots, starting from scratch-ish, you can say. But that's not what this video is about. This video is going to be about my most recent medical journey, which is egg retrieval, egg freezing. So originally, what I wanted to pursue was a hysterectomy because I was still getting periods, I was still bleeding. Now, I believe this was happening because I wasn't consistent with my T-gel. I wasn't putting it on every single day like I was supposed to. And so when that happens, if I miss enough days, then I would bleed again. So I was just done, completely done having to worry about that. I ended up having to make an appointment with my doctor to talk about that, and I also was thinking that if I'm bleeding, that means that maybe I'm still fertile. Maybe I still have viable eggs. That's when I was thinking maybe I can still freeze my eggs. I was under the impression that after being on testosterone for so long, for 7 years, my eggs would not be viable. I would not be fertile enough to produce eggs that would be able to mature and be fertilized successfully. But turns out, good news, this isn't the case. Of course, this depends on each person, on each different body. There are some people who aren't fertile after so many years on T. So I had already accepted that I wasn't likely to have biological kids. I was fine with that. I was gonna adopt anyway. But after finding out and getting a confirmation from my doctor that yes, I still can freeze my eggs, it's still a possibility, then I decided to change what I wanted to do. So before the hysterectomy, first is the egg freezing, the egg retrieval. I was basically transferred over to gynecology, and from there, my doctor was very helpful, gave me the whole rundown of everything that I was gonna have to go through, the cost, and any blood work, tests, ultrasounds that I was gonna have to do. So he filled me in on all of this, and I was still down. I think in the entirety of this whole process, it was maybe 3 months or more. On Instagram, I've been kind of documenting a little bit of that experience for myself, and I gave you guys the opportunity to ask your own questions about the whole process on there. So those are the questions I'm going to be answering in this video. Let me answer some questions now. First one, how much does it cost for the procedure? So it varies depending on your insurance, whether it covers anything. I have Kaiser right now, I'm under my mom's insurance, and so it was able to cover everything that I needed except for anesthesia. That I had to pay for out of pocket. And the anesthesia was $1,400 in total. This is not including all of the times I had to go in for blood work, for ultrasounds, and I had to pay a copay of $35 each time. And I believe I went in maybe like 5-6 times, so you could do the math. But yeah, it really does depend on your insurance and what they cover, what they don't cover. Next question. Do you have the option to donate the eggs, or what happens to them now? So yes, I do have the option to donate them if I decide to not use them, but I am gonna try to use them eventually. What happens to them now is that they are frozen and they are kept in storage at the facility until I want to use them. All right, next question. How does it feel to freeze your eggs? Is it cold? So I know this is probably just a funny question, just being silly, but you don't feel any freezing. Like there's nothing cold that you're gonna be feeling on you. The freezing happens after they retrieve the eggs and they recover them, and that's how they keep them preserved until they're needed. Did you have to go on estrogen beforehand? I read cis women do that, and that's what's stopping me. I did not have to go on estrogen, but I did have to stop testosterone. Currently, I'm still off of T in this moment, but I get to start again tomorrow. But so it's been like 3 months that I've been off of T. What they did put me on instead of estrogen was birth control. So they did have to put me on birth control for 2 weeks, and I was not happy about that. The reason they did that is to stop my menstrual cycle from happening again. It has a lot to do with timing of your cycle because they want to go in at the best peak parts of it, you know? Yeah, so they were basically trying to control the timing of the ovulation. So I've compiled all of the documents that I've received throughout this whole process. I'm gonna show you my calendar because it was a whole thing scheduling all the medications that I needed to take, when I was supposed to come back for more blood work and ultrasounds. This is also showing all of the other injections that I had to do because that was involved and it was not fun. See, I had moved away from injections with testosterone to the gel, but this was just like extreme injections because I had to do, starting with 2 injections a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for 10 days. I'm just gonna tell you the other medications that I was on injecting. I began with Gonal in the morning. 150 was my dose. Today's the first day I start injections, so I'm gonna do the morning one. These are subcutaneous shots, meaning it goes into the belly, and I've never done these. I've always done it in the muscle, in my thigh, like with testosterone. So this is gonna be new for me. So I have a pen and a needle. The blue area is where I'm gonna be aiming for. Kind of hairy around there. So just pulling off the cap. Okay, can't twist it anymore. 150, and you can see the numbers there now. Now I just gotta do it. Okay, I'm supposed to do this at a 90-degree angle. Links, please don't distract me. Don't eat my paper. Oh my god. Oh, I did it. Okay, I should have trimmed my happy trail before I did this. Yay, 1 down. And then I did the Menopur at night, and my dose was 2 vials. Then on the 7th day, that's when we added the 3rd injection, the Ganirelix. What day am I even on?
A lot.
But I've been doing my 2 injections a day for like a week at least. Today I start the 3rd medication injection. So they're supposed to be taken with my Gonal. So let's do the Gonal first in my car. Oh, that hurt. Where's the hole? Gosh, I wonder what this one's gonna be like.
I know.
This one's supposed to already be like prepped, like the needle ready.
I'm so scared to see what it looks like.
Stop.
I'm so sorry.
Why did you say that right before I went?
Oh, it's okay.
Speak for yourself. Okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. You can do it. You can do it, baby. You can do it.
It's not going in. It couldn't penetrate my skin. Damn it.
Maybe we should go ask them for help with this one.
My 9th day. I'm on my 9th day of injections. Ganirelix was first because it's the hardest one for me. Apparently the needle tip is duller than other needles, so that's great. towards the end, I always feel it like under my skin.
Oh my god, my poor baby.
Oh, and then there was a fourth injection, actually. Almost forgot. This one was pre-filled, and this was one of the last injections I had to do. Just 2 of them. One at night and then one in the morning. And after that, I started antibiotics, which were just pills. Praise, thank you. Yeah, so it's a lot of medication, it's a lot of injections, it's mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically challenging. This was honestly the hardest thing I have done. And I've done top surgery, I've had my appendix taken out. So that's, I think, saying a lot. Let's do the next question. I'm thinking of doing this too. What is the total cost? What are the risks? Did you have to stop taking tea? I already went over the cost. I already went over that I had to stop taking tea. Still off of it right now. But what are the risks? There's a lot. There's a lot. Like I said, this is physically, emotionally, and mentally challenging. First off, because I had to stop taking tea, so that made me very up and down. A lot of mood swings. My energy levels dropped. I was tired. And then the injections themselves, I did them all on my own, except for I think one, because I had some trouble with it. I really needed like the nurse's help. But yeah, sticking yourself twice a day, every day, is tough. And so these injections went into my stomach, like the lower stomach fat. My whole tummy was just dotted in band-aids and injection holes. And I was sore and I cramped up really bad all around my lower stomach to my lower back. It felt like a whole belt of pain that wrapped around me. And that was because what's happening inside of me is that it was stimulating a lot of eggs to come out and mature in the ovaries. Because usually it's just one egg at a time, right? But what this medication is doing, it's an intense medication cycle, and it's stimulating as many eggs, recruiting as many eggs as it can to the ovaries and maturing them there. So that way on the day of the procedure, they're taking out as many as they can. They're getting a lot of mature eggs at once. But so what happens is that the ovaries end up swelling. They get really full because it's packed tight in there with all the eggs, and they're all just getting bigger and bigger. And so I was just bloated, cramped up. My pants didn't fit anymore. If you do the injections wrong, you can bruise. I learned that one the hard way. That stupid menopause. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next question because I'm losing light. How does it work with being on testosterone? It doesn't. You need to get off of testosterone. It sucks, but it is what it is. Was it painful? Yes, it was very painful. It's surgery. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Sorry. How long had you been on testosterone when starting the process of freezing? 7 years. It's a long time. That's why I thought it wasn't gonna be possible. Like a lot of other trans guys don't think it's possible. How long can they be stored? They recommend having them stored up until you're age 50. I believe they can be stored for as long as you want though, but you do have to pay for it. It's not free because they're frozen, so they're just gonna be chilling there for however long you need them to be. Do you pay to have them stored like a subscription? Pay a certain amount a year. Yeah, so you could think of it like a subscription, depending on like where you go. For me specifically, where my eggs are gonna be stored, for the first year, it's free. But every year after that, it's $700 a year to keep them stored and safe. Recovery process, time, pain, etc. Okay, so right now, I guess I forgot to mention, I'm on day 5. I believe day 5 since the surgery. I think I would consider myself maybe like 80% back up and running. The first day was definitely the worst. The ride home It was not fun. I cried like 3 times. When I woke up after anesthesia, it kind of wore away really fast. I thought I was still gonna be all ditzy and groggy, but no, I woke up and I started feeling it. And really all they gave me was Tylenol. And that's what they told me to take at home too, as needed. And they also recommended a heating pad, which did help a lot at first, but the pain was very, very intense. It was intense. What's the general procedure like? It's pretty invasive. They have to go through the downstairs to go up into the ovaries, and they take them one by one with a needle. So they kind of like poke you, and they take each one. I don't want to say rip them out, but they kind of rip them out of you, each of them. So you end up with a whole bunch of tiny, tiny little wounds inside from when they're gone. And so all of those follicles inside, they end up filling up with fluid afterwards. And so that can also be painful and cause bloating afterwards. So right now, I'm still a little bit bloated, not gonna lie. And it's not the end of this. This is not the end. They told me that around day 10, I'm gonna start bleeding again. But it's not gonna be like period bleeding. It's gonna be from all the hormones and all the stuff I put into my body, all just being flushed out basically. Moving on. I've been on T for 2 years. Are my eggs still viable? They might be. It's possible. But you have to go to your doctor, you have to get blood work done, and you have to get an ultrasound. So they took a lot from me, blood-wise. They measured all of my hormone levels. They checked up inside me multiple times, made sure that everything was clear there. Yeah, everything was healthy. Everything was up and running still. It varies from person to person though, so the only way to know is to go and check. Is it expensive? I would say yes. I would consider this expensive, but I mean, if you have money, maybe not. But like I said, the anesthesia itself was $1,400, which I paid out of pocket, and that's not including all the other visits I had to pay the copay. Will you be having histo after you have healed from the retrieval? That's the plan right now. I'm gonna be turning 26 next year in August, and so that's when I'm gonna be off of my mom's insurance. So that's kind of why I'm pushing for all of this a little bit more quickly. I'm kind of speeding up the process because I have a limited amount of time. I know. You wanna say hi? Okay, baby. No. Okay. Fine. How painful was the experience? Very. How did you feel mentally before, after, and during? It was a real struggle, honestly, mentally, because I felt all of these hormones coming back. I felt like my body was changing again, and just like the mental thought of not being on T, of bleeding again, of the invasive ultrasounds and the intense procedure itself. It was a lot to process. There was a lot of crying, but I can't really say that there was doubts. It was just like a lot of, this sucks. This really sucks that I have to do this, and I can't wait until it's over. But despite all that, I told myself to be brave. Okay, cool. I think I've answered all the questions that people submitted. So they also suggested or said that I could, if I wanted to, take prenatal vitamins that include folic acid, but because I'm pretty young, 25, they weren't concerned about the egg quality. As I was going for each ultrasound and they were checking on the eggs, how they were growing in the follicles.
You have a lot.
So I was very lucky in that sense. Every time I went for an ultrasound, they would be looking at them, and it would be a lot. There would be so many, and they would comment on that. They were able to successfully recover 20 eggs, which is a really high number. It's a really great number. That means I have a lot more chances in the future for having a kid if one egg isn't thawed correctly or something like that.
All done. The largest on your right is 21.2, and then the largest on your left is 19.4. They're all pretty good. They're good size. A lot of them I did not measure too. You're ready. Okay.
Cool. Oh, something I forgot to mention. The day of the surgery, I had to be there at 6 a.m. to do a physical with my surgeon and just get all prepped up. And the actual procedure was at 7 o'clock, which was pretty quick. Generally, it's about 20 to 30 minutes for the procedure to take place, and then it's an outpatient procedure. I was back home the same day. So I think I've covered most, if not all, of my experience or what I had to go through. If I missed anything, if you still have some burning questions in you, leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to respond to them there. So now I'm just healing and gonna be looking into the process for a histo next. Yep, we're gonna see, we'll see. I hope this video was informative for those of you who are looking to maybe do the same thing in the future. That's all I can really hope for. I think I'm gonna cut it off right there and say thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please do. I'll see you next time.